Today I'm going to show you the perfect foundation cocktail. Okay, and this is not going to start with a liquid foundation. Liquid foundations tend to be too thick, too pigmented, so it doesn't look natural by the time you're done putting it on. So I'm going to show you something a little different. If you're looking for that perfectly natural look, but completely full coverage. So here's how I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to start with a BB cream. Some BB creams have sunscreen in them. I'm choosing this one because it has a natural sunscreen. Those that have chemical sunscreens tend to be too thick. This is not. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit in my hand like this. Now, BB cream is a complexion enhancer. It is not a liquid foundation. So it's going to blend with your natural skin tone. Then, to give it a little bit more coverage, so that I've got that full coverage, beautiful dewy look, I'm going to add concealer. Okay, now those of you that have tried this concealer before know that this particular concealer is really, really pigmented. So I'm just going to put a little bit on top of my BB cream, and now I'm going to mix it. And you could just use your hands for this. I've found that hands actually work great. Also, if you have a foundation brush, you can certainly do that too. But I'm just going to mix the two. And now I'm going to put it on just like I would a moisturizer. Just kind of using my fingers to paint my face. And the great thing about this particular cocktail is that you can decide how much coverage you want. You can stay with just the BB cream if you have really nice skin and just need a little bit of extra moisture and let those minerals kind of feed your skin. Or you can add the concealer as much as you want until you get the coverage that you need for your particular skin. Now I'm just going to keep going. And the great thing about this, because it is a moisturizer, and it is light coverage, and it doesn't have sunscreen, that chemical sunscreen, I can come up here, put it under my eyes. Okay, and this cannot look cakey. It's a dewy finish, so it's as close to a natural skin look as you can get with foundation. All right, now my nose, blend everything. All right, so then if you end up having little spots, areas where you might need a little bit more coverage, you can just use what's left in your hand, or you can use a little dab of concealer. Okay, but now to kind of finish up my foundation look, I'm going to brighten the area underneath my eye. And to do that, I'm going to use one concealer color that's actually lighter than my foundation. This is going to brighten this whole area under your eye. So I'm just going to put a little dot. Now there's a key to applying this so that it doesn't look cakey. Okay, so here's a little concealer tip. When you're using it under your eye, draw it down into a triangle. This is going to help that brightness under your eye blend with the rest of your foundation so that it doesn't look like you have a reverse panda effect going on. Okay, and now because I'm using this to brighten, I am going to also kind of pull it up here into the corner of my eye, and right there where I tend to get a little dark, especially those of you that have dark circles. This is a great little trick to kind of come up on the inside with your highlighting concealer, your concealer that is a shade lighter than you would normally wear. Okay, so I'm going extremely light using my little concealer brush. You can use a finger just to put this on, but I found that the concealer brush means that I use a little less product, so my concealer goes even longer. And I get exact application without being too heavy. Now, I'm going to take this little beauty blender. Now, you can get like the little cheap sponges from Walmart, and you just want to get that wet and then use the hard part of your sponge from Walmart. Now, this is a beauty blender. The reason I like this one is I can wring it out, wash it, and I can keep reusing this over and over and over. But either one will be fine. Then I'm just going to tap, tap, tap my concealer in. Now to use this, I've made sure that my beauty blender is nice and damp. The reason for that is that I don't want it to soak up any of my extra product. And it's going to give the concealer a really natural looking finish versus keeping it dry. Okay, and this works for just about any concealer that you wish to use. Now I do love this one because it is so pigmented and I don't have to use a lot. And that's the key to not looking cakey and looking as natural as possible, is you want a concealer where you have to use very, very little to get a great effect. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure that I tap it all in here and then blend all the way down here. Okay, and that's it. So you end up with a really, really beautiful, natural looking finish that's not too thick. The other option, if you have more oily skin, is you can put a little powder just in the areas where you tend to get a little oily. But other than that, that's the finished look. Then you can go ahead and go on with your eyes, lips, blush, anything else that you want to when you wear. But this foundation gives you the perfect base to start from. So